Today we're making a flourless hazelnut cake with a whipped Nutella ganache that is truly, truly delicious, not to mention naturally gluten-free. You're going to start by buttering the bottom of a 9-inch round cake pan. I like using one with a removable bottom. It just makes the cake easier to take out later. Then you're going to sift your hazelnut flour. This is just to ensure an even consistency throughout the whole cake. Add the cornstarch, espresso powder, which is optional, and a little bit of salt, and then whisk to incorporate. Now separate 6 room temperature eggs. We're going to use the yolks in this step and set the whites aside for later. If you have 2 mixing bowls, this is the time to use them. With the whisk attachment, beat the egg yolks with 1 cup of the sugar for about 5 to 6 minutes on high speed until they're thick and pale yellow in color. You can see how pale and thick it is. It sort of falls off the whisk in ribbons. That's exactly what we're looking for. Scrape down the sides of the bowl just to make sure all the sugar is dissolved. Then we're going to add the melted and cooled butter. We're going to do this in a few small additions and make sure it's fully incorporated before adding the next. Once that's fully incorporated, add the vanilla. And now in a clean mixing bowl with a clean whisk, we're going to whip the egg whites. And having a clean bowl is important here, otherwise your egg whites won't properly whisk up. Start them on medium speed, just the egg whites until they're frothy, and then add the sugar. This is the remaining 1/3 cup of sugar, added about a tablespoon or 2 at a time. Once that's fully incorporated, you can increase the speed to high, let it go for about 5 more minutes until you get medium soft peaks. Just like that. Start by folding in about 1/2 of the egg whites into the egg yolk mixture. This will just sort of lighten and loosen the batter so it makes it easier to fold the other ingredients in. Then add about 1/2 of the hazelnut flour and fold that in as well. You want to fold this gently. We're trying to preserve as much of the air as possible from those eggs. Then repeat with the rest of the egg whites, followed by the rest of the hazelnut flour. Once that's fully incorporated, then we're going to transfer it to our prepared baking pan. Now this is going to bake at 350 degrees for about 40 minutes or so until the edges are golden brown and a toothpick inserted near the center comes out clean. Now it's time to make the whipped Nutella ganache. Warm the heavy cream and glucose or corn syrup in a small saucepan over low heat until it just begins to steam. You don't want to let it fully boil here. Pour the hot cream over the chocolates and Nutella. You can do this in a bowl or like I'm doing here in the canister of an immersion blender if you have one. Just blend that up, or you can whisk it if you're doing it by hand until it's smooth and the chocolate is fully melted. Transfer this to a bowl where it's going to refrigerate for at least 4 to 6 hours or overnight if possible. I like to press a layer of plastic wrap down on the surface of the ganache just to prevent a weird skin from forming. When the ganache is fully chilled, whip with an electric mixer for a few minutes until it's lightened in color and increased in volume, but try not to overmix it as that'll make it harder to spread. And now we frost. I've chilled my cake overnight along with my ganache, but if you're making this the same day, just be sure the cake is fully cooled before you frost it. You can spread or pipe the whipped ganache, whatever you prefer. Feel free to be as messy or artistic as you'd like here. There's no wrong way to frost this cake. I decorated my cake with some chopped candied hazelnuts as well as some candied hazelnut spikes, but you can really do whatever you want here. Maybe you just use toasted chopped hazelnuts, you could use sprinkles, you could use chocolate curls, anything goes. The magic of this flourless cake is in the texture, which is unlike anything you've ever had before. It's fluffy and tender, dense and yet somehow light too, and the silky smooth ganache contrasts perfectly with the nutty hazelnut. And because it's flourless, it's also naturally gluten-free, but you're not sacrificing anything. You can find the full recipe at loveandoliveoil.com. The link is in the description below. Please like and subscribe for more recipes, and thanks for watching. Happy baking!